Hello! My name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Ultimatum League 3.14. In this episode, we're doing build reviews, but it's going to be a little bit different. I'm speedrunning through these build reviews. Let's go. Let's just go straight into it. We have the first one. This guy, he's like, yo, I'm an elementalist carry-on golem, and I went divine flesh, and I do born of chaos. I have 83, and my build, it's so tanky, but I need more damage. So he has 8 million damage, and he has 3,700 life. Well, he doesn't. He shouldn't go divine flesh. I don't use these mediums. Don't use the small cluster because you don't have divine flesh. And then you have so little life. 3,700 is fucking bad. And then also on top of this, if you go into your build, zombies, they have 55 chaos, they can't survive. This is, yeah. So then I took the build and I made a quick new build here. I took your exact build, took out the jewel, took out all the mediums and the smalls, same skill tree except I grabbed more life. 5,200 life, I added 50% more life than your build. And then your zombies, in the helmet, instead of meat shield, I gave elemental army, and now your zombies have 80 res, and this is their survivability, 77, 270, 77. Yours had meat shield, and so mine's tankier across the board in every category, and literally almost double the elemental survivability. Then I gained you 1,500 life, I gained you damage, so the ways that I did this was swap the wands. You were using cold iron points. I don't recommend it. You should go for convoking wands with +2 so that you can level the zombies and the specters. The helmet, I crafted life. Then I crafted I got better life on those. Then the unset rings, you just needed life and chaos and an endurance. I got rid of the Profane Proxy. You have vulnerability, curse on hit on your animate guardian. I put in more harmonies because you're an elementalist, so you have the 60 golem damage per. I recommend getting 20 increased golem damage for each type of golem as your main priority on your harmonies when you're stacking golems and you have 3 of them. Using a roomies, it makes no sense with Brass Dome because you're reducing the block, but you can do it. And then you also had a flask with freeze immune, but you're already freeze immune, so I replaced it with a quicksilver with reduced charges and increased move speed. Now, we will keep this in mind. Helm Enchant Dreadbanner replaces the Carry-On Golem Impale, so you can have Divergent or Default instead of Anomolous. And now that I've done all that, okay, this build as an Elementalist, better than what we had, right? Next build, we have this one. Wait. Yeah, we have this one. 2.7 million damage, 4,600 life. Terrible, like, meh armor, 36 phys damage reduction. Mine had 46 phys damage reduction against a 15,000 physical hit. And this isn't even the best you can do. It's just a quick build review of the other dude's build. And then this one, you can see that he doesn't use the mediums, he doesn't use the small, he doesn't use the divine flesh, but it's the same build. How do 2 people have this same build? What is this? So then I go through it, and it's literally the same thing across the board. So then you go into it with here we go. So this is literally the same build across the board, except no animate. Oh, he puts the animate guardian in the helmet. So then I went to the calculations, and his zombies only have 63 res again. So I don't know how this build works. It doesn't make sense. The zombies should die. They're squishy. You can make them tankier against elemental by double, just by capping the resistances with elemental army instead and putting the animate guardian somewhere else. Helm Enchant's cool, and not using a Profane Proxy because you have an Animate Guardian that can automatically curse. PogChamp, highly recommend. Next, so yeah, I don't recommend using mediums. Take them out. We have another build. Hold up, wait a minute. Is it this one? Where is it? That one, then this one. So same thing again, 2.7 million damage, 4,900 life. He uses 4 mediums. You look at this one at least. when you look at it. 72 res on the minions, zombie and shit, because he actually got a ghastly with elemental res. But it's the same thing again. Super squishy zombies compared to everything else. Because you put it in the helmet with the AG, and then you don't even have minion life. You went +3 instead, and I recommend minion life before plus levels. And then also Convoking Wand is better because it gives levels to the zombies and specters instead of just the physical skill gems. The other thing is, I think it was Flask again. Was it this one or the other one? Other one. Flask in this one, he had a freeze immune divine flask. You don't need it. You probably don't even really need life flask because you have 800 regen. It's pretty good. And then you can run a quartz flask so you're phasing. So yeah, drop Profane Proxy for the Animate Guardian Curse on Hit Glove. Drop mediums because it's a waste. And then you can spend the extra skill points elsewhere. It's better. And then you probably shouldn't even be Elementalist anyways. You should probably be a Necro if you've been watching my videos. Next, real build now. Okay, here we go. Finally. So after all that, we've got in here. Now we have a zombie build. And he's copied my SSF hardcore stuff. And so he still uses a Lionized Remorse and all this. Like, you could use +2 wands. You can have an enchant on your helmet, like that. You should maybe get jewels with minion damage, instead of like life and blind. You could go, instead of lightning res, you can get minion steal damage or physical damage. You can get +1, +2 on the Ami, +1 and then an extra zombie on the Ami. There's a lot of ways to upgrade this. You can go a helmet with actual influence and mods. Like you can use influence items across this whole thing. This is just base, literally like my league starter and my SSF build. And so I would recommend influence items and then awakener orbs and double influence items. And yeah, so you could get like minion damage on the rings. You can get minion damage on the glove. You can get phys taken as element or +1 active skill gems in the chest plate. I recommend a 2-hander weapon, honestly, for your zombie build, which is +1 socketed skills yield 20% more attack damage, then multied with attack speed and what was it? +2 socketed support gems. Then you put an empower in the weapon, and then you fortify the weapon for fortify. It's like a 300x weapon, 2-hander god weapon. Otherwise, you can do convoking wands, 2 of them with levels. Levels on zombies is pretty good because you get extra zombies. Like you only have it at 23, you get an extra zombie at 25. The other thing I noticed is you literally just leveling up your gems would be massive. I highly recommend that. Leveling up your gems, 10% more damage. And then, yeah, you were saying survivability issues, and honestly, I think you just need to kill more and get levels on the zombies. Your zombie's only level 23, so the HP is 32,000. If you were able to get, let's say, 7 more levels, get it to like 30, 62,000, that's the difference we're talking about. And the levels are possibly chestplate level, Ami level, +4 through the wands. It's massive. If you ended up putting it in the 2-hander weapon, you get +1 from the weapon. It gives another level to the empower, and then you have the +2 on the empower, so the empower becomes empower 7, and it's 6 levels. So it's 7 levels just from the weapon, and then you have the extra +1 from the talisman, and you get the extra +2 from the ascendancy. You could do that. There's a lot of interesting stuff. And yeah, next build, speedrunning, PogChamp. It's the only way. So next we have, oh, this one's pretty cool, an aura stacker. So he actually made like, I think this is close to my budget aura stacker from last season, like the 100x budget aura stack from last season. And so the issues are that he didn't get to the 300 aura effect. So he only has 84, 87, but he has 7 million damage. One of the other issues I noticed was 2300 ES. This might be because Discipline wasn't on. There we go. Pog. And then if he saw my build, I actually recommend doing the pathing to this to get Iron Reflexes now. This is my new meta thing, because if you notice, you have no armor and you have 10% physical damage reduction. I also recommend being a Scion, because sure, you can go Witch, Necro, and you can have big deeps, but you have no physical damage reduction. Like, you have no armor. So when I show this, this is your survivability. Your reses are great, dude. Your elemental damage mitigation is insane, but then you're dead. Yup. So then your best flasks are like Granite, Basalt, and you would also want potentially phys damage mods taken as. So like, this is where rare items come in. You can use influence items to get phys taken as. And like a helmet, a normal helmet, double Awakener Orb, and Maven, and all that, get similar mana reserve, and then you get a bunch of extra stuff. And then you also usually want to run my glove with, we use the Blight glove called Breath Stealers, so you can anoint it with another mana reserve, like the Champion of the Cause that you anointed on your Ami. And then you don't actually path to Golem Commander. You can save all these points because you don't actually start as a Necro. You start as the Ascendant, and it's only 2 points to come out of the skill tree instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You save 18 points. Then you can path down here for this extra Jewel Cluster and the Iron Reflexes. Highly recommend it. Huge fucking improvement. And it's probably not even worth it for this Jewel Socket after then if you do this. And then that ends up being better. Then when you go a Scion Ascendant, you get the Guardian Ascendancy, which gives you auras from your skills grant 1% physical damage reduction to you and allies. And so this is like the Necro one, where it's giving you the 2% attack speed, but it gives you physical damage reduction, and that's how I get to 80% physical damage reduction in my Scion Necro without flasks. Highly recommend. You can also get like 40,000 armor. I'll just give you a quick showcase of that. So if you literally had Iron Reflexes, 33,000 armor, 83% physical damage reduction. Obviously, it's not the same against a 15,000 physical hit. You get 28, but the difference of 10 to 28 is 18%, and this isn't even counting Scion yet. Let's just for fun show this part. If you did this, so ignore your damage because it's going to be less. You do Scion Ascendant, and you do this. Grab the Necro, grab the Guardian, and you had that. You grab this, 32,000, and then you have 36, so you gained an extra 8% physical damage reduction just from that. Just from the Ascendancy change, and that's over the Necro. The Necro is actually giving you 10. This is 18, and then you can improve this even further by using auras that actually buff it up. Also, when you click these, when you use your Val skills, they actually count as auras, an extra aura, and give you extra physical damage reduction. If you increase your aura stacking to your aura effect, then the effect of this Guardian Ascendancy actually gets scaled by aura effects, so you get more physical damage reduction per aura. So it helps you for stacking auras, it helps you for all that shit. So highly recommend looking at my new endgame aura stacker for inspiration, potentially, for how to do this better. I just made it. It can help you get to 300 aura effect, it can help you get the mana reserve, it can help you see the Iron Reflexes, it points out all the cool shit. I noticed you already were doing the Helm enchant for Flesh and Stone, PogChamp. Next build, so I just tore his build apart, and yeah. Next one, we have another Necro. This one also seems to have followed my SSF hardcore progress, and so he just is like under budget, no cluster, shield with basically like 2 mods. I had better than this in my SSF hardcore. This is literally a double damage wand with trigger. This literally costs 1C. This is 1C. You can improve these heavily. Highly recommend +2 wands. There's no reason not to. Then I recommend You can actually get awakened gems. These are huge. Like awakened melee phys gives you chance to intimidate, so you don't have intimidate in the build. I didn't even enable everything in this one because I was distracted by all the other builds. Speed running, PogChamp, 800,000. So if you had intimidate, extra 10% increased damage. Then you have +2 wand. You have Helm Enchant. You have, I recommend minion life 20 on that. Then you could get a +1 chest plate through Shaper if you wanted for the extra damage, since you seem to be lacking. You have the minion damage glove. Highly recommend the +2 amulet, +1 intelligence skill gems, and +1 physical skill gems. So we're talking about like the difference of 6 levels. You're not even using the arcane swiftness for the avoid ailment, so you really don't need this shield. Your block is only 29.3 because you don't even use bone offering, so you really shouldn't be using this life gain on block shield. I also noticed you didn't listen and you went eminences instead of harmonies, so this is wrong as well. You have to do harmonies because I do them for the cooldown reduction. So you use summon golems, have increased cooldown recovery rate, do that, and this minion damage. Then when you put this in, it's about getting, it may be less damage, but it's about getting the cooldown of the cascade and the leap slam down. See, the leap slam is 2 seconds now instead of 4. PogChamp, they are more mobile. Then you have the quartz flask, the biosalt, the quicksilver with the freeze. Good. All this is fine. I like that. And I'm telling you, +2 Ami, +2 wands. Just those 6 levels will help. A Helm Enchant, an Influence chest plate, and those will be massive differences. Also, you could use 1 large cluster jewel with Rotten Claws Renewal, and if you can afford it, Rotten Claws Renewal and Vicious Bite. There we go. Is that all the builds? Or is there one more? One more? Okay, similar. Following my SSF hardcore progress, he's playing Witch Necro Carrion Golem. So he didn't adapt to my 1 cluster setup. He's still using Anomolous Impale. I recommend regular and going for 1 Rotten Claws. I also recommend going for the Helm Enchant for Dread Banner Aura effect because it's awesome. I saw you have 1 +2 wand. I recommend another one. It's actually better, so I can show you. Your same wand, repeat it twice, is more damage. Levels are PogChamp. I noticed your chest plate, so you did the avoid ailment thing. So I don't think you're 100% avoid ailments, so I would recommend a Shaper boot with chance to avoid ailments here. That would be really nice. That would be huge. So the way you could do this is look for like 30 move speed, some life, maybe a res, and then one of these things. So let's say the lightning res, you don't get it on the boot. Instead, you get avoid ailments 35. So it'd be life, avoid ailments, move speed, open suffix, craft lightning, easy clap, probably pretty cheap compared. And then the chest plate, you got your avoid ailment. You can craft avoid ailment on the helmet and avoid ailment on the glove, and you would have 100%. That would work without an anoint. That does work. So you could do that, or you could anoint for crystal skin like I did instead of ravenous horde. That's potential because in bosses like Cyrus you don't have it. And then I highly recommend endurance charges to up your physical damage reduction because against a 15,000 physical hit you have 14, so literally getting an endurance charge is like getting almost 33% more physical damage reduction because you get 4% physical damage reduction per endurance charge, and you can get minimum endurance charges on the rings and amulet. And I would recommend not using a Jinx Juju. The Jinx Juju was for my SSF hardcore. It was just a budget Ami that I found for survivability, and I would highly recommend a +2 Ami and then crafting an endurance charge and maybe life. And then don't really recommend using Rock Guts. You can. It's fine because you don't need your frenzy charges, so giving them up for the extra onslaught's kind of cool. And our build is like one of the only cases you can actually do a Rock Gut. So then we have 2 life flasks. I don't think you really need this. And so I just used the Forbidden Taste, and then you could get the extra Quartz Flask so you have phasing, because you don't have phasing in the build, and the build will feel 10 times better with phasing. So those are all the build reviews. I went fast as fuck, speedrun, there's a billion of them. A lot of them were the same. They all fell into the same traps, and so I hope this helps people following. This was my quick speedrun. Also, a quick go back to the first three. Literally the first three were doing Molten Shell, all of them. And so I've updated that we don't use Molten Shell. Oh, this one uses Immortal Call. Yeah, we use Immortal Call, and you want your casting damage taken to be level 1, not 3. And Immortal Call reduces LE damage and physical damage, and it's sick. And it works on the initial hit, where Molten Shell doesn't block. It gives you a shield, and then the shield will mitigate damage after that. So Immortal Call actually helps. Molten Shell is like something you have to cast yourself, like a bone armor, and it's shit, in my opinion. So then no Profane Proxy, don't recommend that. Use your Animate Guardian instead, and hope this helps people who needed help. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys want to submit build reviews, comment your profile name, the character you want help with, and what you need help with, and I'll do my best to help you out. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all that support, and thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon and the YouTube members today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!